As per a study, more than 90% of Indians are doing a job that they don't really want to do, and they just cannot leave it because of their financial obligations. In order to get out of this trap of working, earning, and spending, you need to obtain financial freedom. And in this video, I'm going to talk about a 5-step plan for everyone to obtain financial freedom. Whether you are an entry-level professional or a student or a seasoned professional, this talk is going to help you build a solid financial foundation and help you proceed towards obtaining financial freedom. So the very first step towards achieving financial freedom is knowing how much money are you spending and how much money actually do you need. And the very first thing that you need to do is to start tracking your expenses if you are not already doing. And trust me, this sounds very tedious and boring, but there is no other way around. You have to do it and you must do it. If you don't do it, you will not know how much money do you need, where your money is going, and in that state nobody can help you. So in order to start tracking your expenses, you can create an Excel sheet with 3 or 4 columns with a date and the amount that you have spent, what was the particulars of the item on which you spent this money, and what was the medium, like whether you spent it with UPI or in cash. And this very basic tracker will help you know where your money is going. If you cannot do it on Excel, you can do it on pen and paper by just creating 4 columns, and then you can start logging your expenses. Now with that sorted out, after some time you will know how much money are you spending in a given month on an average. And once you know that amount, what we can do is we can project this amount for next 12 months, and then you will know how much money do you need to survive for one entire year in an average. This amount is called the amount which you need for your emergency fund. Essentially, let's say your monthly expense is 30,000 per month. Then if you multiply it by 12, then it will come out to 3.6 lakh. And that is going to be the amount which you need to block for emergency fund. Now, in order to accumulate this amount, you will have to save from your current income, or you'll have to save it from passive income, maybe rental income, or some other sort of income, but you will have to accumulate this amount. This is the very first thing that you have to do it in order to have the peace of your mind. And once you accumulate this amount, then it is recommended that you should park that amount in bank FD, no other instrument, because you cannot risk your emergency funds with anything else that is not predictable. Stock market, mutual funds, debt funds, none of that. It has to go into bank FD. And while you are creating FD with your emergency funds, you should choose the tenure in months or days for which the maximum amount of interest is being paid out, and the option for interest should be reinvested. You want to accumulate your interest with your principal so that you are getting a compounded interest or a compounded effect on your investment, because eventually the cost of your expenses are going to change over the period of time, and you want your emergency fund to grow with that growing cost. Now with the emergency fund sorted out, the third thing that you need to do is plan out for your milestone expenses. And remember, those emergency funds that you just parked were for your day-to-day expenses. In case of unforeseen circumstances for which your primary source of income is being affected, then you still want to be covered and you want to continue to live your life like normal. Now, the milestone expenses are the kind of expenses which occur at a certain period or a certain point in future, and they are usually of a higher amount than your day-to-day expenses. For example, purchasing a car, or maybe purchasing a house, or buying a piece of land, or paying college fees for your kid, or wedding of your kids. So those are milestone expenses. And to some extent, or I would say to a very good extent, you know when are you likely to incur those expenses. And for that reason, since you already know when are you going to incur that expense, it is recommended that you should start putting investments which are going to mature at that time and grow to the amount which you are going to spend. And you can have more than one milestone expense, but for every milestone expense you should put a financial seed, or in simpler words, you can put some investments, and the maturity date of those investments should meet the date of your expense on which you are going to incur it. One more important thing over here is that if your future expense or your milestone expense is planned to incur in a foreign currency, for example, if you are planning to go on a foreign trip, or you are planning to send your kids in a foreign country for a study or something, then it is highly likely that you are going to incur that expense in a foreign currency. And with foreign currency, the risk is of the exchange rates, because they are not going to be same as what they are today. So in that case, it is recommended that you should put your financial seeds in the currency of that foreign currency. So those are for your milestone expenses. And the fourth thing is cutting off your bad debts. Trust me, bad debt is the worst thing that you want to have when you are planning to become financially free. So the fourth thing which you must do is to cut out on your bad debts. Identify all the EMIs which are going out but are not resulting in proportional ROIs. You should close those EMIs or the debts, and you should completely cut off yourself from them. So with bad debts going out, fifth thing is building a portfolio which can cover up for your day-to-day expenses for the rest of your life. And by that I mean, since your expenses are going to increase over a period of time and then decrease after you retire, then income from your portfolio should also continue to grow with your expenses. And in order to build this portfolio, you will have to have a certain amount of passive income, certain amount of fixed income, probably from government bonds. So those are 5 steps to achieving financial freedom. And last bonus tip is planning for unplanned. For that you need insurance. You need one health insurance and you need one term insurance. There are tons and tons of insurance providers, and tons of policies and a scheme and everything, and they're very confusing, and they have so many hidden terms and conditions which are incredibly difficult to claim. And many times when you are trying to claim, you will not even be able to claim it. So choose the one which is highly reputed and has very high claim rate. And if you don't have any insurance at all, then my recommendation is to choose the ones which are being offered by Government of India, because they are very cheap and they are very generous in terms of their terms and conditions. If you want to learn more about that, feel free to comment. I will talk about that in a separate video. So thanks for watching. I hope this will help you out in building a solid financial foundation for you.